Thanks. Oh, good start. Earlier today, I was driving behind a PT Cruiser with a license plate that said sorrow. And my first thought was, yeah, that's about right. My second thought was, the worst part about driving a PT Cruiser has to be reminded every single day of a mistake you made in 2001. Sucks. A few days ago, I was out shopping for sunscreen, because that's what you do when you look like this. And I was about to buy my usual SPF 30, but the next to that was SPF 50. I was like, awesome, even better. Next to that was SPF 100. I didn't know that existed. I got excited. So I bought it, took it home, but when I opened it up, it was just a shirt. Speaking of which, before I left the house today, I was looking in the mirror, and I said out loud, without a hint of irony or sarcasm in my voice, now that's how you iron a goddamn shirt. I was right. You guys ever heard the expression, I'm just like everybody else, I put my pants on one leg at a time? If that's the only way you're relating to the rest of the population, you're not like everybody else. Not everybody uses terrible idioms. One person knows what an idiom is. Probably change that joke. But like, I'd never like gone on a date and been like, dude, I think we really have a future with this girl. You know, we have so much in common. I mean, we both put our pants on one leg at a time. Like, that's not even accurate. Like, has this person never like sat on their bed and like put both? I've done that. Like, it should be like, I'm just like everybody else. I put my socks on one foot at a time. Because there's nobody who's putting both their socks on at the same time. If I ever saw that, I'd be terrified. It's like the next level of evolution. I'm a single guy. Thank you so much, appreciate that. Awesome. I love single friends too, you know, and a lot of them talk about having one-night stands. Like, that's a big thing, I guess, but it's never been for me. You know, I guess it's not my style. Because I've always had 2 nightstands, like one on each side of the bed. I'll put a lamp on each one. Basically double my bedside storage space, so it really comes in handy. But I did have a one-night stand once, maybe because how it ended is why I don't do it anymore. Everything went fine, you know, in the bedroom area. Next morning, she's like, hey, do you want a bowl of cereal? I was like, this just went from good to great. Absolutely. So she starts to pour it, but she poured in the milk first. It's the right reaction. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like putting a condom inside the girl and then having sex with her. It's just completely illogical and gonna make a big mess. I've done something recently though with all the girls I've been interested in. You know, they all have something in common. I guess you could say it's like my thing. They all have boyfriends. But actually, I've come up with a good strategy of kind of how to deal with that. Because like first, I'll befriend the girl, right? Like getting real close with her. And then I'll befriend the guy. You know, kind of like gain his trust. And then, this is the best part, I have 2 new friends. Yeah, step 4 of that plan is actually where I die alone. But that's been recently. I started to realize I've been getting turned down by the girls that I thought I was settling for. It's like the sobering reality, right? So like, you know, she's not really my type and we don't have that much in common, but I'll give it a shot. She's doing the same mental math in her head and just going, nah. It's like getting turned down by your safety school. It's like, how did I not get into the University of Phoenix? Like, this is fucking rough. My last relationship lasted about 3 months, which was about 3 months longer than it should have. Like, she was really sweet and nice and everything, but we didn't have that spark, chemistry, you know, whatever you want to call it. But she did have a Tempur-Pedic bed. I don't know if you guys have slept in a Tempur-Pedic bed. Supports you in ways a woman never could. That joke's better if you sleep on it. Did make me realize, like, have you ever seen a mattress store that wasn't having its grand opening or going out of business sale? Why is the mattress marketplace so volatile? I understand. But being single, that means sometimes I have to watch pornography. You know, that happens. But I'm at the right age where, like, the internet wasn't always a thing. You know, like when I was a kid, porn was like Sears catalogs and imagination. But I do remember one time, me and my buddy, we were playing when we were kids, and we were out like in the woods, and we actually found a Playboy. You know, it was all like waterlogged and dirty and everything. We were still so excited, just like couldn't believe it. I remember thinking like, man, this is amazing, you know? What are the odds? Turns out pretty good. Because like as I got older, every friend of mine had a story about finding porn somewhere in nature. Like, oh yeah, dude, we used to find those in the desert, you know, by the river. Like, who's this humanitarian just littering the nation with porn? It's like that guy deserves some sort of holiday, or at least like a brand of lotion or Kleenex named after him. Speaking of porn, where do asexuals get off? Girls who masturbate are so into themselves. Let's see. I like drinking. We're at a bar. Gonna relate to the audience on this one. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about drinking is nights always end the same way. You know, you eating something unhealthy, fast food, drive-through, whatever. Just once, I want to be like, man, just got so hammered last night. I went home, made myself this kale and quinoa salad. Just drenched that in low-carb vinaigrette. Oh yeah, it was organic. Said I was hammered, not a monster. But it's like you don't have the choice that late at night. It's like you can't eat healthy even if you want to. Like, you know, I've never seen a Roberto's taco shop sober. Like, I don't think they exist until you've had like 5 beers. They're everywhere. Like sirens calling you towards morning diarrhea. I was watching a news story recently, and it came on after a marathon. They were interviewing one of the runners, and the runner said, 2 years ago, a doctor told me I would never walk again. But look at me now. Like, no, that's an amazing story. Like perseverance, overcoming adversity, or a really shitty doctor. It's like, I don't want to take anything away from the guy, but like, how many stories should we hear about someone who was never supposed to walk again, who's walking again? Maybe save those for like amputees or something. I don't know. I just ran into a friend who I hadn't seen in a while, and so I asked how he was doing. He said he was doing well, but he was actually recovering from being a hardcore heroin addict. I was like, wow, you know, that's crazy. I'm happy you're doing well. But in my head, all I can think is, why did you say hardcore? Like, if you'd been like, I'm a recovering heroin addict, I would have been like, hold on. Let me stop you right there, friend. What are you talking, hardcore? Softcore? Unless it's a story from a fucking amateur. I'm like, what's the difference between hardcore and softcore anyway? I guess with hardcore, you can show the needle going in. Oh. It's a thinker. But like, are there any casual heroin users out there? And he was just like, you know me, man. I don't do it all the time, but after a couple of beers, I like to do heroin. I had a really long week at work, so I went home, drew a bath, lit some candles, tied off my arm, did heroin. It's really aggressive. I was at work the other day. Someone told me, you know, that's not such a bad idea. How about good idea? Asshole. It's the worst way to compliment a good idea. So I'm bored at work a lot, so I go online, and the other day I went to one of those sites where you can see where all the registered sex offenders are in your area. And like, that's pretty staggering. Definitely surprised me. Made me think though, like, man, why would so many people register to be a sex offender? Like, I'm not even registered to vote. Like, I don't want to be known as a Democrat or Republican. These guys are like filling out forms to be known as a child molester. Like, just, you're a creep, you don't need a membership card. It's fine. No, it's not fine, but it's the idea. I was talking to a comedian friend recently, and he said this exact thing to me. Man, who cares what people think anyway? I'm like, yeah, dude, who cares what people think? That's for people who are like desperate for attention, you know? Who like crave approval. Who'll do like anything to be noticed. Who'll perform in front of strangers. It's pathetic. That's why comedians are above all that. Please like me. Guys, I'm Jason Halpin. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.